Sure. This is Mark Heilshorn. I am a pastor and a theologian, and I am coming to you live here on YouTube to talk to you about the eighth path of Buddhism. I've been waltzing through all eight over the course of the last month, and today's path is called right mindfulness, and that's a big term that's being used quite a bit right now in the culture. And I want to give you a working definition of that. And it's mindfulness is the basic human ability to be fully present, aware of where we are and what we're doing, and not overly reactive or overwhelmed by what's going on around us. Now, that may sound like a very easy thing to do in our day to day, especially during COVID-19, since we're all still in some kind or form of lockdown or social distancing or sheltering at home. We've been encouraged really to adopt a mindful mindset, whether we like it or not, and whether we have chosen to take the path to be more deeply spiritual and mystical about our time and this occasion in our lives, which is again completely uncharted territory. None of us knows exactly where this is all going. Even as we reopen, there's still a lot of doubt and a lot of question about where it's all headed. I know for me, I've got an occupation that is heavily dependent on people. I'm a massage therapist by trade, and if I can't work on people, I can't work. So I'm going to have to, I've had to in the last really many months think of my other gifts and skill sets and how I can utilize those. And more importantly, how I can inspire people to try to be patient and calm amidst the storm that's flying around me. So, mindfulness, as I said before in that definition, the ability to be fully present, aware of where we are and what we're doing, and not overly reactive or overwhelmed by what's going on around us. And that's important stuff. I mean, it really has a lot to do with being focused on the here and now and not being so taken aback or so overwhelmed by the challenges we all face, the challenge to our work life, the challenges of our occupational lives, the challenges of being able to just move around freely, the challenge of our money and how we acquire an income in order to pay for bills they keep coming. So there's got to be some give, unless we all have rainy day funds, which many of us do not. Um, and then there's the challenge of we are basically a human species. We like contact with one another, and it's great to have the Zoom world that is now pronounced and will never go back. We've always had cell phones, which have allowed, well, not always, but recently had cell phones, which have allowed us to stay in contact with each other in any myriad of number of ways. Um, but there's something missing about the human contact, to read somebody's energy, to feel how they're reacting. And their body language. It's really very interesting to sort of um, be a part. Um, I know that the other day there was a man who reached out his hand for a handshake, and instinctively I shook his hand. I mean, I just couldn't help myself. It was almost like gravity. And I went back inside and I washed my hands, but it was so strange not to be able to. And my son popped up the other day, and he came by and I gave him a great big bear hug, and I thought, oh my God, what am I doing? But it's my son. So it's really hard to ignore the human interaction that I've grown up with. That's just part of greeting one another and leaving. So that's strange stuff. And I was talking to another friend the other day. He was in the dating world, and he does not necessarily want to be with his girlfriend under these conditions because he doesn't know. So how do you maintain a dating relationship if you can't see one another? What do? You just depend on the phone and go on Zoom calls with each other. Very strange, very strange. So we have a couple of ways to react to this, or we either react or we respond, right? So mindfulness suggests that we kind of get really, really present, okay, and follow the basic human ability to be fully aware that these are feelings, these are realities that we have to pay attention to. But we can set aside some time and just be quiet within ourselves, and that's what I think the Buddhists do exceedingly well. They're able to detach, they're able to focus, and they're able to chant their way into consciousness when a relationship with God, and really, really understand that if they can get that right, then they can withstand almost anything. And I think that that's kind of what we've been asked to do in this COVID-19 world right now is to go internal, to be completely centered in ourselves, and to not be overly reactive and overwhelmed by what's going on around us. And that's been exceedingly hard because all it takes is one look at your phone or one look at the TV and somebody's spouting something about what they know or new information, or it's very hard to detach from the world around us. But there is a way. And the way is being very conscious of what you're doing right now. Now I try to come up with all kinds of ways to do that by being productive. I'm building a garden right now. I'm splitting wood for the coming winter. I'm just doing things that I know that help me stay focused on me and help me be prayerful and help me be connected to God. I meet with a group of men, in this case, pretty much every morning, and we talk about our feelings. We talk about our challenges, and it's been very helpful. And this is a spiritual group, so I'm able to really focus on those other men in my life, and there are women in my life too, clearly, that help me focus. But we're all in this together, and if we can be mindful and careful about where our mind goes and staying away from the restless and the discontent moments and the things that irritate us, we have a much better chance at staying calm and staying peaceful and being able to withstand the challenges that are before us individually and collectively as a culture. So, right mindfulness, right mindfulness. Again, all about being able to be fully present and aware that we are where we are, what we're doing, and to not overly react and or be overwhelmed by the matters at hand. So, God bless you and thank you, and have a good day, and let's be mindful. All right, be well.